Lincoln is the capital city of Nebraska and home of the Huskers. It's also host to the 2025 U.S. Women's Open on the PWBA Tour. 5 of the world's best bowlers are here competing for the season's second major. We're venue the spectacular, recently renovated Sun Valley Lanes, hosting the Women's Tour for a 6th time and the first major since the relaunch of the tour 10 years ago. This fantastic building has hosted the Collegiate National Championships, PWBA events, and a PBA, USPC, US Open as well. More history about to unfold tonight. We have Stepladder bowling tonight. We start the show with Singapore's Hui Fen, the only 2-time winner on tour this year, against Maryssa Carey of Hobart, Indiana, looking for her first title. The winner takes on reigning Tour Rookie of the Year, Elliott, a former Nebraska Cornhusker. The number 2 seed is Russo, who goes for her first career major. All looking up at the top seed, Snodgrass, having another MVP-type season, making her 4th straight championship round appearance. Welcome, bowling fans. It's time for the championship show, 2025 U.S. Women's Open. We can't wait. Great crowd here. It's going to be a fun atmosphere and fantastic bowling. They run alongside Sid Brummett, former national championship player and coach. And Sid, what a Fab 5 we have. Jordan Snodgrass, former Rookie of the Year, Player of the Year. We've got so many accolades and so much great bowling ahead.
There's no doubt about it. The tour relaunched 10 years ago. This is the 10th U.S. Open since we got back on the lanes as an association. And let me tell you, this is the show we've been looking forward to. First show that we have seen players all under the age of 32, all players that could not have bowled on that previous tour. We have 3 former national champions, and on top of that, we have a 4-time All-American in Maryssa Carey and an international superstar in Hui Fen, 2 players vying for our Player of the Year.
Sid, we can't wait. It is time now for the future for the sport. Oil pattern, let's check out our conditions tonight.
Dave, our players were hanging out on something that is a brand new to our sport. You're going to notice these fun little Tetris blocks on the right and left side of your lanes. We have a 41-foot in length oil pattern with a very low volume. It forces the women to play straight up the lane until it blows apart, forces their feet further left, and then they're going to try to use that strip of oil, or excuse me, that strip of friction to their advantage. They want to avoid those Tetris blocks, those red markers on your screen as best they can.
Challenging conditions tonight. Tetris, I like that.
You know, the guy who designed it said he was playing Tetris when he designed it. Sounds about right to me.
Let's meet our bowlers.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Hobart, Indiana, Maryssa Carey.
First ever TV show for Maryssa on the PWBA Tour unfolds here tonight.
What a way to get your first TV show. Doing it for a major, the U.S. Open.
She bowled collegiately. Indiana Tech did make a TV show there in singles. But this is for much higher stakes. Gets going with a good shot, Tenpin stands.
Almost no better start on this oil pattern. There are so many ways to have bad things happen to you from a results standpoint here. First shot on TV under the lights of live television. That collegiate national championship that she did make TV for, that was a tape show. It's a bit of a different feel here tonight.
2021 Grand Rapids, Michigan. Lost in the semifinals. And she told us last night that experience certainly helped, but this is a totally different situation. Bowling for a major. As with Tenpin has her mark. Nerves are settling, right? Get that spare out of the way.
First frame, all gone.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Singapore, Hui Fen.
Four titles in her career. Begins her night on the right lane. Great shot. 7-pin trip late.
gosh, Hui has spent the last few years getting healthy. You're going to notice how strong her legs are underneath her. It allows her to have so much power throughout the swing, but she wasn't healthy for the last few seasons. She had to work really hard with her trainer to have that available to her.
Fourth finals appearance. Stepladder bowling on tour. Went off to a great start. Smokes the pocket on the left lane. Great career for Maryssa. Indiana Tech, the Warriors we talked about. Dual degree there. 5-time All-American in college. First crack at the right lane for her. Looks really good. Let's break down her game here, Sydney.
Maryssa has a unique game in the women's side that usually when you get your bowling ball into the swing that early, you are going to have a higher backswing, but you're going to notice hers is more parallel to the lane. It allows her to have more power as she slides. It gives her a longer flat spot, so it doesn't have to be perfect off of her hand every single time. She has a window to let go of the ball and still have a good result.
Looks for the double. Runaway Brooklyn got the double. Sometimes you get lucky. 5-pin late. Next stop, Prospect Park.
Us ladies were not shy this week about being excited on going Brooklyn. We were running them out of bed. Fist pumps galore when a Brooklyn fell down. They were hard this week. You were fine with however they wanted to fall down.
Back to Hui. Back to the strike. Any player rolls a 300 game during tonight's telecast will receive a $10,000 bonus courtesy of GoBowling.com. GoBowling.com to find local bowling centers, get tips from the pros, and for all the latest news and information about your favorite sport, bowling. First three for New Way. Tries for the front four, right at it. Perfect. Pulverizes the pocket. Down they go. Shrapnel. Sid, shrapnel remaining in the pit.
It doesn't get any better than that. Sliding about 25, 18 at the arrows. And then what she's doing is there's this friction right here around 7. She's utilizing that. Her bowling ball has to touch it. If it is further left than that, the ball's going to go sideways. If it's further right, she may miss the head pin to the right.
Maryssa responds. Strike fest continues here. Cuts it to 10. Can tie it in the 5th frame. 9 spare to begin the match. Turkey for her. Front 4 for Hui Fen.
It was evident throughout our rounds of match play as well as our cashers round. The ladies have seen this pattern for 4 straight rounds and now the TV show today that the fresh was where you got your score and then you tried to hold on the rest of the time. It is expected that this first match would be high scoring.
Despite this being her first show on the women's tour, pretty cool customer baby split here at the 310. We had a good chat with her last night, saw her again during practice tonight. Said just relaxed today, got herself mentally and physically ready, but not too nervous.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that you get it left of the friction, and the pattern is completely flat. So when you mess up the lane, your bowling ball goes dead to the left.
It's a big baby split here. The way Hui Fen has started, and nice conversion. Well done by Maryssa Carey. Are you looking for some great PWBA gear? Visit the official online store of the PWBA at shoppwba.com. Gear up, Sid. Get your merch.
The vintage logo crew neck has been a favorite of the players. Oh, yeah. I can see many in the crowd.
You know my birthday's coming up this week.
I'll work on it.
Just saying. Nice shot. That want to start Hui Fen. 5 up, 5 down.
I told Hui a couple weeks ago in Cleveland, it's the sharpest I've ever seen her. And whenever Singapore comes over, the ladies were kind of thinking somewhere between 3 and 6 checks are gone every week. That's just how great they are. But Hui, you're almost penciling her into the show. That's how good she's been physically and mentally.
Back-to-back wins this year. Trying for another one. Looking for help. Now the messenger helicopters, but has not reached the Tenpin. The bid for perfection comes to an end. Trying for the front 6.
That one a bit steeper to the right. So it hangs in those little Tetris blocks just enough to come in behind the head pin.
Big watch party, Singapore, where it is tomorrow morning at 7:11 a.m. First bid of the single pin spare conversion has the mark. We've got ourselves a great match here. Match 1 underway from Lincoln, Nebraska. The 2025 U.S. Women's Open here in Lincoln, Nebraska. We appreciate their support, hospitality, all of our fantastic world-class bowlers, and our TV crew. All right, let's get back to bowling here, Sid. Second half, match 1, 21 pin spread. Hui Fen the lead, but here's Maryssa. To her 6th, works on the spare. It's go time. Could have been a lot worse. Just the 7 pin, so no disaster.
Yeah, that's a great break. Coming out of the commercial, first time doing the same thing as Hui that we saw in the left lane. It gets to those Tetris blocks a bit too late down the lane, comes in behind the head pin.
Maryssa took a year off at Indiana Tech, the Warriors, and that All-American career we told you about. Needed a reset. Back here in Lincoln, Nebraska, we apologize for the technical difficulties. Dave Ryan, Sidney Brumman, our entire crew. This is match 1, U.S. Women's Open, second major of the 2025 PWBA Tour season. Maryssa Carey, left lane. Tough split for her. Leaves the 6-pin in open frame. Her opponent, Hui Fen of Singapore, began the match with a front 5. Has been in control, Sid, throughout, and things got better for her after the Open.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been one of the more difficult U.S. Opens in recent history. 2016 was the last time I can remember scores being this low from research and recent memory.
Let's talk stats there to see it. So critical. Tracking the numbers. Shots like that. Increasing her strike percentage. And now a chance to go up by 46 and really take complete control of the match here in her 8th frame.
Yeah, I wish you guys could see my body language every time Hui throws a shot, because I'm just amazed at how sharp she is. You know, we've seen several players out here that you could deem a robot at certain times. They're just repeating shots at the highest level. Hui is one of those people at this point in the year.
Crystal Elliott, reigning Rookie of the Year on tour, is next. That's a 3 seed. 4-pin there for Hui Fen, our 5 seed here tonight. Clinical, perfect. And a cool custom on the lanes for sure. I mean, you know, Sid, competing week in and week out, you've got to lower your heart rate and keep yourself focused. And now a packed house, bright lights, TV, a major, it becomes that much more challenging, right?
It does, but you wouldn't know it watching Hui. She looks relaxed as can be.
She's pretty chill. Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no doubt.
Keep up with the vernacular. Right lane here for Maryssa. That's a lot better. Nice shot in her 8th frame. Is it too late is the question.
This one's as good as it gets here. She hits 7 down lane perfectly. As you can see, middle of the ball splits it. If you had to draw it up every single time and you could... No. choose your option, you would choose that one.
Over in Indiana, Chicagoland. She is a Cubs fan, but also a KC Chiefs fan. So probably not a lot of Bears fans want to hear that. That's how it goes. Left lane here. Had a hurry, didn't get there. Pays another price to 8-10 split.
So many times we saw this on this oil pattern. Players would go high, they'd make the move, think it's good. Her body language told us she thought it might hook. Pays the ultimate price with a 2-8-10.
Loses count. And the trouble really builds for her this late in the match. Now it's a 50-pin deficit. And Hui Fen pretty much has to just show up here in the last couple of efforts to wrap up this match. Her foundation frame works on a spare. Bring in Tenpin, good shot. This match is mathematically over. Nice to have that kind of cushion sit in the 9th frame. Feels pretty good.
Yeah,
you can experiment a bit in the 10th, right?
Exactly, you read my mind. And I do see Sean Ryan, who's been here with Team Singapore for the last few weeks. She's going to try a different bowling ball here, an IQAI.
Hui credited her tour rep, Sean Ryan, with improvement. Lots of practice sessions, lots of video, working on the approach, her release at the foul line. Made some changes this year, and what a season. Back-to-back wins in Cleveland. Another show here, possibly a major in Lincoln. Good shots like that. Perfection. Match 1 is complete from Lincoln. Hui Fen of Singapore moves up the ladder. Next up, the reigning PWBA Tour Rookie of the Year, Crystal Elliott from Palm Bay, Florida. That's right. Brevard County is in the house next. She told us last night she bowled in this center when the Cornhuskers on-campus facility is being renovated. She knows it well. He'll be back home for her. Champion takes home $60,000 tonight. Loaded up at 30. Big money at stake. Final warm-up shots here before we get started. Sid, what's going through the minds of these bowlers?
Well, they're probably grateful. You know, when we bowled this week, you received 1 shot on each lane as you came off the practice range. Think about golf, right? You have the driving range, and then you get to start, you get to tee off on that first hole. The women's U.S. Open and men's, respectively, U.S. Open are similar in that way. You have the practice range, you come over to your starting pair, and you receive 1 shot only on each lane. Today, on our TV show, the women receive 4 on each lane. They're feeling awesome. They're grateful. They get a better look at the pattern, better look at what's going on.
Okay.
Overall, it sounds like Crystal is just deciding which lane is going to be best for her to start on, and then she'll
I'll start.
Get things rolling.
Jane, our defending champion. Brandon Cote won in 2023. Erin McCarthy, who is from Nebraska, big star in the Husker State. And Josie Barnes in 2021. I was outside San Francisco with $100,000 on the line. Last practice shot here for Crystal.
Had to get it out of my system. From my water.
And now ready to bowl.
I'm up. Go away.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Palm Bay, Florida, Crystal Elliott.
Palm Bay on the Space Coast. About halfway between Jacksonville and Miami, right on the ocean. Just Started bowling pretty late. Age 10, picked up the sport. And become a big star on tour. Her night begins. A high shot, almost paid a big price. Just a 3-6 standing.
It's not great.
Not her best effort here. That one, her angles were just too close. Never got to the friction spot that would help the ball slow down. That's why you see it go almost sideways. Down lane at the end of the pattern. Fortunate to leave a makeable spare here. A 3-6.
Great career at Nebraska. National champion, All-American. Then went with the O'Keefes to Jack State in Alabama and won a national championship last year with the team.
Yeah, a bit emotional for her last night when I just asked how it felt to have home field advantage. The only former Husker to make the show. She said it gave her goosebumps to think about.
Way looks down, didn't like it, but all good. Checking footwork at the foul line.
Bowling is such a unique game in the way that we don't get extra points for accuracy or doing it beautifully. We get points for creating the most margin for error. It's how bad can I throw it and still have a good result. And for Hui, that's not her best. She gets away with it. 10 fall down, move to the left lane, try again.
That's all that matters with 10 down part. Back-to-back wins. Greater Cleveland trying to keep it going here in Lincoln. High again. 3-pin. Not paying the big price here. That's the good news.
No doubt. You'd rather shoot a 3-pin than a 3-10 any day. Both makeable. However, single pins, slide where you want to, hit where you want to. But that one, about 4 left down lane of where she'd want it to be.
Has a spare. No problem there. Basically behind Jordan Snodgrass in every major category. Jordan, our top seed tonight. Tries for another title. Would be her 7th. As things stand now, it's all Jordan to be player of the year again. His 2nd time in 3 years. A lot of bowling left, though. Here's Elliott. Big shot.
Crystal's physical game is about one of the great ones that you can have. She has so much power, and one of the things that I want to emphasize is this left arm. It's something we ignore a lot in bowling, but it provides stability and power. She gets out in front of her, and then as her arm swing comes down, that left arm travels to the left. It gives her balance, but also it allows her torso to be engaged, gives her more momentum going to the line.
Looks for an early double in the lead. No. 2-8-10 split instead.
Yeah, I like what we saw her mouth there. She said, that was me. It's firm, it's to the right, and because of those Tetris blocks that Nick Hoagland created in this pattern, it unfortunately does not have a chance. It's one of those ones you hope you just leave a 2-8, but unfortunately the 10 is standing for her.
Challenging early. Trying to kick it across the deck to the 10-pin. Cannot. Open frame and suddenly down by 12.
I didn't really
Way to
think
her
I
third,
did.
works on a spare.
I thought it was at least a decent shot. I mean, if anything, I probably missed more towards like the break point rather than like the arrows. Yeah. But I mean, I didn't think it was horrible. That, no, it wasn't.
Back to Hui. That's what you do. When your opponent struggles, take advantage and create some separation. A strike here puts her up 22.
And what makes Hui so scary is that it's almost like she doesn't care that you messed up. She's just going to keep playing her game. Like, she's just bowling the lane. She's the epitome of process-oriented, and that is a ball change for Hui.
It doesn't ever pay off, Sid. Wow. Crunches the 1-3 pocket with power.
I can't emphasize how much guts and how much trust in your equipment and your second set of eyes you have to make a ball change like that. It's gutsy.
And the lead is 22. Being gutsy pays off.
It does. At least it does for Hui most of the time.
Crystal here. Right lane needs to bounce back off the open. Does it perfectly. Perfect flush strike. Hammers the 1-3 pocket. Ten years ago, Crystal was watching national championships on TV. Second championship round appearance for her this year. Finished 4th in Cleveland, where New Way cleaned up with 2 titles. 10 years back, she watched Nebraska win a national championship. That's high. Avoids the baby split, just the 3-pin.
All right.
And it started a dream for her watching back home in Palm Bay, Florida, to become a collegiate star. And Sid, as she said to us last night, I just want to have a scholarship. That'd be great. Now she's reigning Rookie of the Year and on a major show. Amazing.
It's what makes the relaunch so special. I can't emphasize it enough. It's 10-year anniversary. Crystal's class is that first one that could really have a dream from a young age. They can watch the greatest of all time. You know, they watched Liz be a player of the year, Shannon O'Keefe, multiple-time player of the year, major champions. And now they themselves get to come out here. They have a tour to bowl on, and they already have next year's schedule, in fact, as well.
Well said.
Well, I mean,
10-year anniversary. Bowl fearless. That's what Hui Fen does. And takes advantage of more mistakes from Elliott. The lead balloons at 32 pins. This time, but still in control. Halfway home of her second match tonight.
Yeah, I know this one doesn't strike, but it wasn't her best effort. You see her fall off the shot. It's in front of her. The last few times we've seen players get it up the lane on this left lane, it's gone high, leaving a 3-pin combination. That one, she had an opportunity to strike. It tells her she made the correct choice in that ball change.
First time ever U.S. Women's Open show for Hui Fen, trying for a second career major and looking good. 31-pin lead in match 2. Hui Fen, big lead, 31 pins on Crystal Elliott, match 2. Second seed Lauren Russo tries for her first career major tonight. Joins us now. How you feeling as we get closer to your first match? How are the nerves?
They're definitely there, but I'm pretty excited to compete and just be here. I'm super grateful, and I'm excited to get out there.
You told us yesterday that you love coaching your girls, and sometimes you have to think about what you would tell them. What would you say to them right now if they were bowling for that Crystal Eagle right in front of you?
Well, I'm sitting in my power pose, so power pose and be confident.
Love to hear it. Best of luck.
Thanks, Coach. Lauren's the head coach at Maryville in St. Louis. Done a fantastic job there. LTC show for the team a couple years back in Vegas. Along with husband Matt, former PBA Rookie of the Year. All right, Sid, as I like to say out of break, it is go time here for Crystal. Works on a spare 6 frame, down by 31. And time is now. Tough break, 8-pin. Good shot.
have to give a huge shout out to Emil Williams Jr. I know he's on the truck right now for us. I know that hurt his heart, that 8-pin. He watches them all week. It's a great shot for Crystal. Gives her information, but when you're down in the match, it's even more of a heartbreaker than normal.
So I know you're going to get me some merch for my birthday this week. Emil and I have the same birthday, so you want to double up on the order?
Yes.
On your cart?
Yes.
On your order at PWBA.com.
Absolutely, and I'm going to make sure you guys are twins. Make sure you have matching fits.
Large for me, XL for Emil. Happy birthday, man. Win probability very good here for the star from Singapore.
Crystal is throwing the same bowling ball, a pin up one on the right lane, pin down on the left.
7th frame. Running away again.
That's a good 9. Not a bad shot. All right.
Could have been a lot worse. 6-pin on the Brooklyn shot. Mom Denise watching back home in Brevard County tonight.
Crystal unique on this tour. She uses urethane to shoot her spares. Not many women that choose something other than plastic, but she is one of them.
Follow the PWBA, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, on bowltv.com to keep up with the greatest women bowlers in the world. With the latest video highlights and news each week to follow your favorites like Sydney Brumman. Hashtag BowlFearless, as always. Hui Fen is a favorite of Singapore and it really had a hurry. That's the target. Light hit, but good break, just the 2-pin.
Yeah, that break right there, that's how you know you're using the right bowling ball. Because all the other women we've seen hit those Tetris blocks down lane. You know what happened, Dave? The 2-8-10. Every single one of them. Mm-hmm. Way leaves a single pin.
Better.
It's been the difference here at the U.S. Open. Makeable spares versus red circles, as we like to say. Splits versus makeables.
Staying clean. 246 game in her opener here tonight. Maryssa Carey. His career title, Tour Championship, a major 9 years ago. 2 titles this year. Beat Sherry Tan, her teammate, title match, Bowl TV Open. As well. At the Rock and Roll Open. That is 237, 187. Hui Fen has been awesome. A little help there, trim 7-pin. That's got to improve the spirits in Crystal, but she's down by 32.
It's tough when you're bowling an opponent that has wonderful ball motion, room to miss, and you feel like you have to be perfect specifically on this left lane. But Crystal made a phenomenal choice. She had choice this match. She did choose to start the match on the left lane, meaning she will finish on the right. If Hui gives her an opportunity, I like her chances a ton on the right lane to double in the 10th if she needs it.
2 seed, Lauren Russo's next. Foundation frame to cut it to 22. Needs this badly. Trip 4-pin lane to stay in the conversation of the match.
Who got one?
Crystal's one of our more animated players on tour. Anytime she gets a good break, you hear about it, and she's got the best spirit.
Always an enjoyable conversation with Crystal. Backed away. Almost paid a big price. Breathes a sigh of relief, avoiding the split, just a 10-pin. All good, cross lane, single pin, spare conversion. All about filling frames here. Making spares at this point. Maintain the lead into the 10th. Fourth in earnings, second in points, second in average, second in championship round appearances. Great year again. Hui Fen. Perfect.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I think the only thing standing between her and Player of the Year in this moment is two things. Jordan Snodgrass and the fact that Singapore will not be with us for the PWBA Anniversary Open in Green Bay in just a few weeks. They will fly home and they will return for Tour Championship Week.
Just 9 needed on this shot to shut out Crystal Elliott and move on. Take on Lauren Russo. Needs 9, has 10, has the win. Hui Fen, fabulous through 2 matches. Moves on again. And with tour rep Sean Ryan's assistance, we'll try a new ball here with a win in hand.
Same bowling ball, this one pinned down. Hui made the most amount of changes in her ball card throughout the week. 7 total have come off of her card since we started.
A winner again. Hui Fen of Singapore is through. Lauren Russo, the 2 seed, is next here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Packed house here in Lincoln. It's set for our 3rd match. Hui Fen, Lauren Russo. Great to see Kevin Krause, president of the BPAA, here in Nebraska tonight.
Go, Jason.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from O'Fallon, Missouri, Lauren Russo.
Trying for a 2nd career title. O'Fallon just outside downtown St. Louis. That's where Maryville University is located, where she is the head women's coach. Coach Russo's night starts. Almost the bucket. Two, 4, 5.
One of Lauren's biggest benefits in this pattern is her ball speed. So every once in a while, she will get firm. She will 2, 4, 5.
All right, important early cover here. Nicely done for the spare.
Turbine.
As we've seen, any bowler tonight who gives Hui Fen even the slightest opening is going to pay a big price. 246 and 228 games for her. Trying to climb the ladder to the top seed, Jordan Snodgrass. Help across the deck. And down goes number 10. Messenger.
Every other player is running down to like lane 1 after that one. Hui. She's like, I do this all day.
Cool, calm, collected.
Stick around
like
for
the interviews. You know,
exactly.
I mean, you bowl with her all the time. You
Yeah.
see this personally. Crossing her. Hasn't changed expressions yet. Runaway Brooklyn. Sometimes it's your night.
Sometimes.
Next stop, Brownsburg.
I'm telling you, every player this week, so fine with this break. So fine. You know, normally you see players, oh man, didn't throw a great shot. Hui, she just takes her notes, moves on.
Locked into the target. That's better. Tattoos the pocket on the right lane. And a big strike for Lauren Russo.
Can't say enough good things about Lauren. So powerful in her bowling. At the top of her arm swing. Fourth step hits the ground and accelerates through her slide.
And oh, by the way, she's best friends and roommates with Jordan Snodgrass, our top seed. To build that storyline even further, if she can get by Hui Fen, which is not easy, it got even harder with a 4-10 split. No break for Lauren.
This left lane has become our storyline here, Dave. It's tricky for everyone except Hui Fen. Waves figured out how to avoid the splits on this lane, where other players, when they miss, if they get up the lane, it leaves a 3-pin combination. Or splits like Lauren just did if they get it right at 210s. Wei somehow finds a way to leave single pins.
No opens in her third match. That'll do it. Looks for the first three. Has the first three. Began match one with a front five. En route to the win over Maryssa Carey. Any player who rolls a 300 game during tonight's telecast will receive a $10,000 bonus. Courtesy of GoBowling.com. Visit GoBowling.com to find local bowling centers, get tips from the pros, and for all the latest news and information about your favorite sport, bowling. Wei looks for another one. Turns the corner. Look at the ball reaction. Brushes the pocket again.
This was a move to the left for Wei. Specifically, she slid further left than she did before. It's the same spot down lane. Players just haven't been able to get it there. They haven't been able to get it there because the fronts are starting to hook. The most important part of that shot was it was steeper through the front part of the lane, but the goal remains the same. That strip of dry in the oil pattern makes the down lane markers consistent.
And Russo pays another price on the right lane. 2-10 split. Front four for Wei, and the lead is going to grow again here.
Lauren quick up on the approach after leaving this 210.
Has the 2, not the 10. Another open frame. And the lead now 53 for Wei. Lauren knocked off Jordan, the Southern Indiana Open a year ago. Her first career tour title. There were fireworks that day. 267 to 259. Ball change here. Russo trying to flip the script. Might be too late though. With the way the star is gone. Trip 7-pin for Lauren. That's got to help her cause a little bit.
It does, and this is where we note that our players were only allotted 10 bowling balls this week. They could make changes after the initial first 3 rounds of qualifying after a 30-minute practice session on pattern number 4. And then they could not change their ball card again until today after their practice session on the TV pair. Lauren has elected to eliminate 4 of the bowling balls that she has had in those first few rounds, adding 4 different ones. We saw her switch from a troublemaker to a Turbo X. Wei, on the other hand, out of her initial 10, she's eliminated 7 new ones on her ball card since we started this tournament. Several doubles. She has 2 phase 2s, 2 IQ, Tour AIs. Both she's throwing right now.
And she has a big lead here, Sid, with the front 5. Looking to get halfway to perfection with the front 6. Not this time. Missed the target, double wood 2-8. First match, front 5 sit. Sorry about that. This match, front 5. I mean, she's been locked in
and
all night.
Yes, and I will say that this front 5 in this match, more unexpected than the first one. The first one, we know it's going to happen. Crazy thing she's about to do here, shoot this with a spare ball.
It's been that kind of night for Hui Fen. And was that a smile? First one we've seen all night. Big lead in the third match. Trying to get to the top seed, Jordan Snodgrass, tonight here in Lincoln, Nebraska.
It's so nice to be in a city that broke the record for attendance at a women's sporting event. 92,003 people at a Nebraska volleyball game. I went and walked their campus a few days ago just to feel the inspiration of it. It was such an honor.
Great college town. Well said. Okay, Russo out of the break in a lot of trouble here. He needs to get going in a hurry. Was working on a strike into her 6th. So can't cut it to 51. I'm going to go 9 spare here. Not much anyone could do against Hui Fen Sydney tonight. She's been incredible.
They just have to find a way to be as consistent as she's being at hitting the pocket, leaving makeable spares. It's been the difference.
Whoops. I'll miss that one. And on the bench, the lead balloons to 73 pins.
Very simply here, a miss to the left. Quick back up on the approach.
She was going fast. Parents are here, Mike and Debbie, niece McKenna, and of course husband Matt, former Rookie of the Year on the PBA Tour, also coach at Maryville. Multiple tour wins for him. Hui's been rolling. That shot was way wide right and a big miss. 1, 2, 4, 8. Maybe her most errant shot of the night's in.
Oh, no doubt. We just saw the worst shot that she has thrown today. It gets steep through the front part of the lane, and because there's these, if you can imagine, these little Tetris blocks that are hanging out right here, she hits one of them. So your ball won't hook. It doesn't matter how good you are if you hit them.
But of course, with a spare ball, she covers again. And you and I were talking the break about the use of the spare ball in that 2-8.
Absolutely wild. You know, Jason Belmonte won here in this building, the U.S. Open, on the same pair, on the same lane, shot a 3.6910 with a spare ball, made it just as incredible of a shot for Hui to make a 2-8 with a spare ball.
Man, dials in. More perfection. Tattoos the pocket again.
That was about as funny as we see Hui be with her animations. Sean Ryan was over here giggling at her a bit. Thought that was funny, but she stays in her process, comes back, takes her notes. Coming over here for Singapore is all about gathering information, staying sharp throughout the year, getting ready for more world competition.
Tough night tonight, but let's flash back to her only title on tour last year's Southern Indiana Open. We told you about earlier, top seed, the Maryville head coach, needed only one match to claim the title. Jordan Snodgrass, the #1 seed here tonight. A huge game, 260 plus, and got her first career PWBA Tour title. That's an awesome moment. She said it was just a great year last year.
And I have to point out, she made the show and won last year at one of the highest scoring events I've ever seen. An event that had more 300s than I can even remember. And here at this event, one of the lowest scoring U.S. Opens I've seen. And so it's an incredible mark to her talent of what's available to her to be successful in both venues.
Well, she won't win here tonight, but a great run to be the 2 seed here. The 267 in that Southern Indiana Open final last year against Jordan. She and husband Matt live about 10 minutes from the Maryville campus in St. Louis.
Don't worry, guys, I can make them.
She actually moved to St. Louis, moved that place before the Maryville job was open, and got it. And I realized how close she was to campus. It's been a perfect fit for her. They've done a fantastic job.
You know, everything happens for a reason. Coaching has made Lauren better. According to some of our greats that are out here on the tour with us, great minds, she's one of the most improved players over the last 3 years. Couldn't agree more with that statement.
This one, partner's over. Hui Fen is going to win again with another big number. Stays clean again. Man, locked in. And she's going to move on to take on Jordan Snodgrass in the championship match, our top seed. Only bowler of the show tonight. with a major to her credit. Entering play tonight. Jordan would like to change that on top seed. Jordan Player of the Year 2023. Right now, the runaway leader to win again. But Whale has something to say about that. With a win here tonight, that'd be her third title. Then things change a little bit. With a lot of points to her credit.
It will be. I think you're going to want to tune in to our Tour Championship Finals in August from New York, because that's how close this Player of the Year race is going to be between Hui and Jordan Snodgrass.
It's all about points on the women's tour. This one's over. Hui Fen of Singapore continues to absolutely decimate the opposition. 262. That's her best game. She's getting better as the night progresses here. Incredible bowling for Hui Fen. To the championship match next. They take on Jordan Snodgrass for the title in Lincoln, Nebraska. Both bowlers trying for that green jacket for the first time in their careers. Here we go. Dave Ryan, Sidney Brummett, national champion coach and player with you laneside in Lincoln. One match for all the marbles. Good shot, good start, 4-pin for Hui.
It's a great start after the wait that she had. Jordan got to take 8 shots on the pair 4 on each lane. Hui just had to observe, make a move based on what she saw Jordan doing.
Stays clean. No opens tonight for Hui.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Adrian, Michigan, Jordan Snodgrass.
Four shows in a row. Top seed here tonight. Looks for her first career major. That's high, 3-6-10. Has one in the center, 2019 PWBA Lincoln Open. Covers nicely to begin on the right lane.
It's a good start here for Jordan. Her practice, her 8 shots were not convincing. She didn't have a convincing look on either lane. And so now she just has to make a decision about what she's going to do and do it with full confidence.
Tries the left lane, a lot better. And all down for her. So how concerned should she be based on the warm-ups?
I wouldn't say majorly concerned, only because typically this late in the oil pattern, 180 would win. But I'm not so sure about that tonight, considering the streak that Hui has been on in her first 3 matches, and she knows this pair better than anybody else.
262, her best effort of the night so far. That's why, just playing through this transition with the help of her tour rep, Sean Ryan, Hui Fen has been brilliant tonight. Amazing.
Yeah, how funny was it last night when we asked her, why have you been bowling so well? And she said, well, Sean Ryan's here.
First thing she said.
First thing she said.
staying solid. Absolute perfection. And crunches the 1-3 pocket with more power sit. It's amazing as the match and the night goes on.
Yeah, she continues to get further left, and she still remains around that 7 board, maybe flirting with 8-9 at this point is where her hold is, but realistically, she just keeps moving further left with her feet. She was at about 22 at the arrows.
Jordan missed the target and pays the price to 8-10 split. And as we've seen, Sid, tonight, any open against Hui Fen is a disaster.
Yeah, Hui hasn't opened yet. And for one of the most difficult U.S. Opens since at least 2016, it's phenomenal.
Early challenge really needs this, and the 10 stands open frame. So just like that, it's 22 in the early going. Trying for a 7th title. And this is her 27th show.
1 in every 3 events that she bowls, she makes a show.
Wow. Good shot. Tough break, ringing Tenpin.
Yeah, I was nodding my head as that ball was about halfway down the lane. Loved it off of her hand. She's just centimeters away from 10 straight back, but the ball goes a bit forward through the pins, leaves a wrap 10.
She told us she'll win this match because she's the most prepared of any bowler on tour today. Hui Fen said to us her versatility will put her over the top, and you can't disagree with Hui's assessment through her first 3 matches. She's been amazing.
Yeah, and I would add to that for Hui. I would also say she's one of the most knowledgeable from a technical standpoint. She knows her bowling balls at one of the highest levels. I just don't think she'll come out and tell us that.
Has a turkey. Every break's gone her way. 32-pin lead. And like every other match tonight, Sid, she's creating separation early and often.
Late hit on the 7. Business as usual.
A little expression there.
Just a tiny bit.
Slightly. For the 4-bagger and a 42-pin lead. Yet again. Commanding bowling all night long for Hui Fen. And the watch party is 8:37 tomorrow morning in Singapore. They're starting to celebrate even more now. They've had a lot to cheer about tonight. That continues. Amazing. Jordan's got to play catch up. Nice shot.
Jordan's similar in style with how she played this pattern to her roommate, Lauren Russo, in that they use their ball speed. Jordan a bit more forward with her ball roll, can stay closer to that friction zone, that strip that provides guaranteed reaction of a bowling ball if your ball starts to react in it. She can stay closer to it. It should work in her advantage.
Good shot, no break, 4-pin. And now striking is mandatory.
Yeah, it is, and it's never fun when you're a player and you're going flat, or excuse me, wrap 10, 4-pin. You feel like you're in this in-between, like you have to be perfect.
Single pin spare conversion there for Jordan, but she's down by 42 pins halfway home in the championship match from Lincoln, Nebraska. New Wave Fen wants the U.S. Open tonight. Her sixth for a 52-pin lead. Right lane. Another one. This is her night.
I want everyone at home to understand we're watching greatness. We are watching pure and absolute iconic performance here from New Wave Fen. They're not easy right now by any means, and she is making them look scoreable. This did not happen over the last 4 rounds on this pattern. She's dominating not just her opponents, but the pattern as well.
And that continues on the backside of the commercial break again. The lead is 62.
Correct choice after correct choice, good shot after good shot, great communication with Sean Ryan. Quality note-taking.
Been a great event for Jordan again. 4 straight Stepladder finals. And what she hopes is a second Player of the Year season power tournament. Was that positioning round match to get her to the top seed. She could not have foreseen New Wave Fen's brilliance tonight. Tenpin there.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And I loved what she said on socials after she won last week. And she said, I just trust God's timing. I know it's going to be my time when it's my time. Unfortunately, this isn't going to be the night for Jordan to catch her first major. But that time is well on the horizon. For all we know, it could be the Tour Championship where she finished second last year. It's coming for Jay Snods, that's for sure. But tonight is about Wei.
All about New Wave Fen. What an evening of bowling. Looks for another one. Has another one. Up by 72 pins. Running away from the best bowler on the planet right now on the PWBA Tour in Jordan Snodgrass. Not close tonight.
I bet you guys didn't know when you tuned in you were signing up to watch a clinic. Oh my goodness.
The clinician. 8-bagger? Yeah, why not? Just keep the train rolling. Steaming through Lincoln. All the way up the stepladder en route to what will be her first career U.S. Women's Open and second career major. This one is over already. How about New Wave Fen? She has won the 2025 U.S. Women's Open. What a night. And they're celebrating in Singapore now. She's got her second major.
You got to point out the sportsmanship there from Jordan. You know, she recognizes what's going on, too. There's nothing she can do about it. It's the crazy part about our sport. You can't change the other person's score. She's got a lot of respect for Wei. This is going to be a tough one for Jordan, I'm sure. But ultimately, she's going to be stronger because of this. Tonight, we'll celebrate Wei.
She's not going to smile yet until maybe the final scores are up. And possibly for some picks laying level of the trophy, we'll see some smiles.
If we're lucky. If we're lucky. Oh, a small one.
There you go. Oldest bowler on the show. It was a big subject that we talked about at the top of the broadcast, Sid. The new look women's tour, part of the relaunch. So emblematic of what the new wave of bowling stars looks like. And New Wave told us last night, 33, that's just a number. I'm not worried about being the oldest. I'm worried about being a champion. And she's won here tonight in Lincoln convincingly. No opens.
None.
Incredible. Bowl TV delivers live multi-channel coverage of the PWBA Tour, PBA 50, Team USA, USBC, Collegiate, and Youth Tournaments, plus much more. great bowling content. Visit bowltv.com to subscribe today. Bowling lives here. Sid's on it, emails on it. Awesome cast of broadcasters. Up by 102 pins. You don't often see that anytime on a TV show, anytime in a match. Triple-digit lead. 10 in a row. I mean, 9 spare in the first frame. Otherwise, we were talking about a perfection game here with a 300. How about one more to wrap it up? Why not? What a night for Hui Fen of Singapore. She wins the 2025 U.S. Women's Open in Lincoln. Incredible bowling. Her second career major. Wow. Finishes with 11 straight strikes. Maybe in the post-match celebration we'll get a smile. Maybe. What a night for Hui Fen. She wins the U.S. Women's Open. The incredible bowling for Hui Fen of Singapore against Jordan. 9 spare to begin the match, and then 11 in a row off the sheet to take home the title. Remarkable bowling. 290 to go along with 262, 246, and 228 games. No open frames in 4 matches. Amazing bowling for the champion. And we'll hear from Hui Fen with Sydney when we return to Lincoln. Back in Lincoln, time to celebrate Hui Fen's win at the U.S. Women's Open with Kevin Krause, the president of the PWBA, Dennis Hacker, president of the USBC, and John Lacido, the proprietor here at Sun Valley Lanes. Sid has all the post-match celebration.
First off, congratulations, Hui. We have 3 amazing gentlemen here to present you with your jacket. First off, Kevin Krause.
Hui, on behalf of the Bowling Proprietors Association of America, what a phenomenal bowling performance. We are so proud of you. Congratulations.
With that coveted green jacket comes the Crystal Eagle. President Hacker.
Hui, I know you picked this up already. It's not light. It's pretty heavy to stand out here with this. On behalf of our board of directors and approximately 1.1 million members of the United States Bowling Congress, congratulations. You're our champion.
And now we have had an amazing host this week of Sun Valley Lanes, the proprietor, John Lacido, with what some people would believe is the most important of the 3, your check.
Hui, on behalf of all of us here at Sun Valley Lanes and Games, the event sponsors, the City of Lincoln, and fans of bowling here and abroad all around the world, it's my pleasure to award you this check for $60,000. Congratulations.
Hui, you're going to have to hold on to that thing for a second. I'll hold this for you. There you go. And we're good. You struck so much. We have time for questions. It's a beautiful thing. You know, the guy who designed the patterns, Nick Hoagland, shout out to him for doing a lovely job at creating one of the toughest U.S. Opens we've ever seen. He told me it was going to take 180 to win the title match, and you proved him wrong with 290. How did that happen?
I don't know. I guess I'm lucky to have Sean by my corner, so like he sees the ball reaction really good and accurate, so then I don't make too risky moves. If not, I'm gonna be changing ball every frame if I don't try. Yeah.
You have come back from injuries over the last several seasons. Those who have tuned into Bowl TV know what has happened. Can you walk us through that and what has allowed you to be here today, bowling 56 games plus our telecast to win the U.S. Open?
Yeah, just lots of gym work and a recovery plan. So stretching, foam rolling, a good warm-up plan. Yeah.
Now you will head back to Singapore in the lead for Player of the Year. Walk us through the plan for the next several months.
I go back, maybe rest for a few days, then train for 1 week, and I'll leave for Hong Kong Open. So there'll be another week of competing. Then I think end of July there'll be Thai Open. After that is done, then I'll come back for Tour Championship.
Is there anyone that you would like to thank for this victory today?
My family, Singapore Bowling Federation, High Performance Sports Institute of Singapore, and all my teammates, Shay, Ben, Sean Ryan, Rob, Joey. The Storm family is amazing, and Vice as well. Yeah.
Thank you, Hui. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2025 U.S. Women's Open champion, Hui Fen.